Welcome to the Dogtor Bros, where we have an honest discussion around vet life in and out of the clinic. My name is Brandon. I'm your doctor of the day and your guide through this episode. I'm a small animal internal medicine practicing veterinarian living in Colorado, and I'm here with my closest friends from vet school.
Hey, this is Chris. I'm a GP in North Carolina.
Hey, this is Jeff. I'm a veterinary dermatologist in Louisville, Kentucky.
And this is Adam. I am a relief veterinarian in Louisville, Kentucky.
All right. And today we're taking a little path outside of vet med. We are going to primarily focus on just kind of what it's like for us outside of the clinic. I'm sure everyone can relate. They have their work life, then they have their life outside of work. The way I see things, like I work to live. I don't live to work. So do a lot of fun stuff. I know these guys do as well. And you'll get a little insight on that today. But before that, we will splash in a little bit of vet med in here. This will be a really quick internal medicine focused question for the guys. It's a pharmacy question. So what I'll do is I'm going to ask the question. I'll give you guys a few moments to think of your answer and honestly answer what you think the answer is. If you get it right, next time I see you, I owe you a beer. And I don't know if anyone remembers, we did this on an episode before. I owe somebody a beer. I don't know. I don't remember who.
Well, it's recorded.
I think it's Chris.
I thought it was Chris too.
Chris going for two.
So
Let's do it.
I bring this up because I'm going to see JT and Adam here in a couple of months from now. So maybe if they get something right here, I will owe you guys a beer. And everyone can get this right. It could be everyone gets the same question right. So we shall see. Okay. So the question is, when treating cats with, in particular, chronic kidney disease for anemia secondary to their chronic kidney disease, one drug that we use is called darbepoetin to stimulate red blood cell production. There's a new drug on the market that's available.
I know this.
That you can use.
I'm going last. I know this.
So I'll give you guys a few moments to think about it. Cue the Jeopardy music.
This is Chris. I'll just go first. I have no clue. My answer was going to be darbepoetin for anemia. I thought I had it, and then it's new. So no, I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, this is a new one.
Is darbepoetin the same thing as erythropoietin?
It's an analog. Yeah, it does the same job.
Oh, I was gonna say erythropoietin.
Yeah, that's not the new drug. That's been.
Why
around.
would I ever know? I don't treat this. I want a refund.
All right, Adam, what's up?
All right, this is Adam. And I think I actually asked you about this drug not too long ago, Brandon, because I used it once. Is it Varenzin CA1?
Yes. Yeah, the CA1 is a conditional approval from the FDA. We have Varenzin. It's a new drug. It works differently than Darby. And
Verizon
it's really cool.
won.
Not T-Mobile.
So, yeah. Awesome. When I see you guys in Louisville, I owe Adam a beer.
Yes.
All right, cheers. All right, good stuff.
I'm the only one without a
It's
beer.
okay.
It sucks to
There'll
suck.
be opportunities later. It'll be fine.
Dang it.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about generally just what life is like out of the clinic. So a few episodes back when we started this season, we talked about some hobbies that we were kind of trying to get into this year. Like just to start off, I talked about focusing on my fitness, trying to complete an Ironman or a half Ironman specifically this year. I'm in the process of training for that. Did a 10-mile run today. I've been doing like 5 workouts a week, most weeks. And I will, knock on wood, be ready to go in mid-June when the event happens in Boulder.
You go, Brandon.
We're in the process. What about you guys?
This is Chris. So I did play pickleball. It was a blast. I would recommend. It was definitely fun, and I also still been working out and doing everything, just not as crazy as Brandon, but trying to stick to 3 to 4 days a week.
This is Jeff. I am excited about this episode because we talk so much about general clinic stuff, but I think this is good to see like that we're actually people outside the clinic. From like my updated hobby answer would be, so I mentioned that I finally got started into boxing that I'd been interested in. I'm still doing that once a week. And every now and then the gym I have also does kickboxing. So I've gotten to try that out too, which is much harder. And there are many more movements. And I'm just such an amateur, but it's so fun to be like I'm good at what I do at work and then come and do this thing that I'm just so unequivocally bad at. Like, I just love the learning aspect that I'm genuinely starting from scratch, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, wow, I'm very not good at this, but I'm getting better every day.
I love that.
It's so fun.
This is Adam. I think earlier on the activity that I said was kind of my New Year's resolution was trying to get to the gym regularly, and I have been doing that fairly regularly. So far, so good on that. The activity the hobby that I said I would like to try, I don't know when they would record that, like a month ago, was snowboarding, and I literally have not left Louisville since then. So no, I have not snowboarded in the past month. But it's still on the list. It'd be a blast, I'm sure.
It's up there.
Take a drive down to Gatlinburg or Smoky Mountains.
That's true. There's options.
But yeah, that's exciting. Well, you have the opportunity to come out here. We have I'm literally moving into my new house. So Adam, Chris, and JT all are welcome whenever you decide you want to come visit.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Yeah, JT, that's great. I think boxing and especially kickboxing is just such a good workout.
Yes.
I now that I've moved, I'm closer to the Muay Thai gym that I used to go to. So maybe after my Ironman training, I might get back into that and get rolling again and just keep my skills up. So that's really cool. Well, just to kind of jump into kind of just general social life outside of work, I'm kind of curious on you guys. We have a split group, as many listeners know that have been listening to the pod. We have myself and Jeff are living without children in our lives. And then we've got Adam and Chris who have multiple wonderful children. And it is a big difference in lifestyle. So we'll start with, go ahead, JT, what's up?
I just want to mention, the parallel is so funny because we specialize, and I feel like Adam and Chris chose to have the children that we otherwise would have had if we had wanted children. They're
That's actually true.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, we just did hard things instead. harder things. That came out wrong. That is not what I meant.
Shout out to all the parents out there because you're doing amazing work.
We had to punish ourselves for not having kids is what I meant to say. Oh gosh. Well, you guys hopefully knew what I meant.
Keep digging that hole, guys.
Yeah. When you don't have kids, you have time to suffer through residency. When you do have kids, some people still choose to do residency, which is just in itself crazy because I know a couple of people that have done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I cannot. It's like apples and oranges. I can't put my guys in your guys' shoes. So, well, on that note, what is social life like as a veterinarian with children?
This is Adam. I'll start. I'll go into a little bit more detail, but I feel like I have a good story real quick to kind of sum up my social life with children. So when the Super Bowl was happening, I asked Jeff.
Oh, no.
I asked Jeff, he sees where this is going, if he wanted to come over to watch the Super Bowl. And he said, yeah, that sounds great. So it got closer to the time of the game, a week out or so. And I sent him a text. And I was like, hey, you still plan on coming over to watch the Super Bowl? And he said, yeah, for sure. And then he said, who's all coming? And I said, you. That's it's like, dude, we have no friends. We're parents. You are coming. It's me and Allison and you watching the Super Bowl. And I just feel like that's kind of the sum of it. Like social life is our children. When somebody has our children, it's me and Allison. Occasionally we'll go out with like some friends from work, or we'll have JT over to watch the Super Bowl or things like that. But yeah,
listeners, I was indeed the only one there.
You were the social life. Yes, it was.
Me.
The party was a very loose term.
God.
But yeah, no, that's minimal. I'd say minimal social life.
This is Chris. I mean, it's pretty much the same. We have t-ball, soccer, the kids going on, whatever other activities they have after school. So that pretty much takes up the majority of it. I was, before the episode, joking with these guys is I have a buddy, we'll play disc golf, and he has kids as well. So we were texting each other trying to figure out a date to work to play disc golf together. And it's a month and some change out of when we can actually get together and play disc golf. So it is on our calendars to play. And we even had a backup date to make it work in case something popped up, because it can happen. So yes, social life is hard. Usually it's hanging out with the parents with their kids that have kids as well. So that way everyone's kind of entertained doing something. But yeah, not a huge social aspect.
All right. Well, how about you, Jeff?
I mean, for a non-parent, thank God. For me, we need to be careful.
Yeah, I already word vomited earlier, so don't follow my lead.
Oh my God. I want to say this with genuine love. Like, I like to say a side note, like at work, I'm thankful for other people that are parents, because it just wasn't my personal journey, but I have much love for them. Like, I have a niece and nephew, which are absolutely wonderful. I just didn't want to do that. So when I say thank God, I mean that thank God for me personally not going down that route, because I knew it's not what I wanted. For clarification, as a non-parent, besides being a dog parent, I would say it's still very difficult, but I definitely do have a little bit more of a social life. But it does require, like Chris, you mentioned, like putting something like on the books for a month out. I absolutely do that with my friends, and Adam has cameoed on a lot of our game nights. So there's a couple of friends. We actually plan, I'd say, weeks in advance and put it on our calendars. And then as it gets closer, I usually shoot Adam a text and see if he's around, because I know he's always volatile on whether or not he's going to be there.
Sometimes I'm a yes, sometimes I'm a no.
So I'm like, but if it's not on the calendar for me, it doesn't exist. So I'm constantly doing that, like nonchalant stuff like I did in college when everybody kind of lived in the same place, or even in vet school. Hey, we're all like hopping out Friday. I'm like, I just don't do it anymore, because I feel like I'm so busy doing either going to work and traveling because of work, or doing stuff with, I don't know, stupid stuff. Like I had to schedule my taxes or trying to get to the gym on a regular basis. Everything goes on my calendar. So that's the only way I can have a social life, is like, I need it to be planned to some extent. I can be spontaneous though, because I don't have kids. So I don't have to like worry as much. So I have other friends every now and then we'll hang out, and they can be a little bit more spontaneous. Like I had friends who were like, hey, you still coming out Saturday? And it wasn't on the calendar. And I was like, this was like 3 days ago. I was like, oop, yes, coming. What time? What place? Nailed it. Got it. Will be there. But I didn't have to think too much about it. I was free, and I saw the open spot on my calendar, and my partner also has the same calendar. So boyfriend and I share a calendar to reduce fights.
Yeah, your setup sounds very similar to mine, because we're the same way. We schedule stuff out. We share a calendar. Fortunately, Lindsay and I have the same like weekday schedule for work, so we can plan that really easily. And yeah, it's the same deal. Like today, like what I did was hung out with friends, but it was for one of our friends' kids' birthday. So like I'm not going out and like like late at night having like partying, anything like that anymore. But I am still hanging out with people, seeing a lot of people that, we care about. And then we can be spontaneous too. Things like, it's still snowboarding season here, believe it or not. I think some of the resorts are pushing their like end dates out to like May potentially in some of them. So like someone's like, hey, you want to go snowboarding this weekend? If I'm free, I'm going to go. Stuff like that. And otherwise, though, planning trips and like different things with friends, if they're involved, usually occurs on like a calendar schedule type of deal. We do a lot of traveling more recently now that I'm finished with residency. So not this coming weekend, but the next weekend I'll be flying back to Georgia to see my family. My oldest nephew's playing his last baseball game of the season, so I'm gonna go hang out with them and be there for that. Stuff like that. So that's like my social life: close friends and family. And I'm glad that we have the flexibility to do stuff both ways in advance and spontaneously if it works out. As far as kind of a normal day-to-day non-clinic day, whether that's like after you get home from work on a clinic day or like your days off, what is that like for you guys? Like, and then speaking of days off, like just kind of generally, like what's y'all's work schedule? Just for me, it's I'm fortunate enough to work Monday through Thursday at my clinic, and I have a 3-day weekend, and I love it. It's a drastic change from 3 years ago, in the past 3 years, I guess I should say, when I was in residency, and I couldn't be happier. But like, just kind of curious about your guys' day to day.
This is Adam. So for me, in terms of how many days I work, typically right now I am working between 5 to 6 days a week, but that is by choice. And the clinic that I'm working at the most, like it honestly doesn't feel like work. It's the first place I've worked as a veterinarian where I can say that. I'm just so comfortable there. The staff, they feel like genuine friends. Like I could be friends with these people outside of work, even if we didn't work together. So it's just it like legitimately feels like a second home. So I'm very comfortable there. Otherwise, I would not be working that much. Trust me. If I had the choice, which I do, being relief, I wouldn't work that much unless I really enjoyed it. That being said, on my off days, it's very much family oriented. So today, for example, today's a Sunday. Today, it was me, Allison, and the kids all day. We started out by making a family trip to Costco and stocking up on some groceries. The kids love rolling through there, and they want to reach from the cart and try to grab everything. And then we went to the zoo. They had a fun little like Easter scavenger hunt type thing where you walk around and tried to find eggs. And so we did that with the kids. And then we came home and we watched the end of the Masters. Congrats to Rory for pulling it off finally. But yeah, very family oriented day. And that's typical for Sundays, which is my usual consistent day off. Just really family oriented.
This is Chris. Pretty similar to Adam, except for the amount of days worked. Usually it's 4 days a week is my schedule, and then I'll pick up relief shifts 1 to 2 times a week. So like this weekend I didn't work, but tomorrow I do work on Monday, which is usually my off day. So I'm picking up a shift then, and then going home like on a day off. Typical schedule. Like yesterday was just sports all day with the kids. They had a kid's birthday party in the morning, then went straight from there to T-ball. And then right after that, we had lunch out because an hour later or 2 hours later, we had soccer for my daughter. So we came home, and that was just basically took up the entire chunk of the day. Doing that, we hung out, had dinner at the house. And then today was pretty much the same, just chilling out. I think the kids went with my wife out to do some shopping. I stayed home with my son. We hung out for a little bit. Then everyone came home. What else we do? We watched the Masters as well. Watch Rory almost choke, but then got it in the end. And then, other than that, it was a pretty chilled day. I mean, it's like when we're not doing anything, it's great to just kind of hang out on the couch and just not do anything and just veg out. Today, also watched the F1 race this morning. So it was a good, just chill day.
This is Jeff. I have to say, I have no idea who Rory is. So when I heard it the second time, even though Adam said it, I thought this was a human choking. And I was like, oh no.
No.
Oh, man.
On food, obviously. And it wasn't. Okay. So, God. My normal. And to be fair, I was also staring at my calendar. I was like, what is my normal day off like? So my regular, most common schedule is I work 4 days a week. Thursday is usually my day off during the week, which is kind of not an uncommon veterinary schedule to work 4 days, which is very nice, but I'm often there. I'm still work in progress at sometimes I'm still late and doing records on some of those days. But my normal off day, I like to go to CrossFit at noon, most Thursdays. And then I usually have a scheduled Spanish tutoring class around 2:30ish online. And then I feel accomplished. And I'll go grocery shopping usually. I'll try to cook and meal prep a little bit. When I'm really on top of my game, I will also meal prep on the weekend. But that's pretty much like a standing. I go to CrossFit. I have my Spanish class that I do once a week. And it's getting to the point where my tutor is asking me if I've meal prepped for the week. And I'm like, can you not drag me today? I haven't been to the grocery store yet. He's like, yeah, but last week you said you didn't know what to cook, and now it's another week. And I'm like, Eduardo, you're killing me. Can you get off my neck? So that's a normal day for me.
Yeah, for me, I on a good day I'll get home closer to 5:30. If I've been busy, usually between 6 and 7. And my mornings are filled with workouts because I just don't have the energy or time to do it in the evening. So I do it before work. On my days off, we just love to either be outside. Like right now, it's kind of hard to set our normal day to day because we're doing a lot of house organizing stuff in the new house. But once that's all settled, a lot of what we'll probably be doing is getting out, going on morning walks or even hikes in certain areas, with this spring and summer rolling around. And oftentimes just trying to enjoy where we live. So sometimes that'll be my wife's Lindsay's birthday was just a couple of days ago, or yesterday, I should say. And we like to go to a brewery and sit down and just have a nice beer and just relax. So we did that yesterday, and she got a free birthday beer. So yay. But places like that are kind of our go-to. Or seeing friends, whether that be locally in town or down in Denver, which we make frequent trips down to Denver. So yeah, that's kind of our usual weekend, or we're traveling. That's the other thing. We travel relatively frequently, and we have trips planned out way in advance, and it's something to look forward to on the calendar. So as far as kind of life outside of vet med, that are not so much fun things to do, but just day-to-day life for an adult veterinarian. Anyone have any examples of stuff that they're dealing with or managing outside of work, but still takes up some of their time?
Yeah, this is Jeff. It's funny how things kind of sneak up on you as an adult because we own our house, so random things will hit. I had a super busy week last week at work. I was just dying, and then I get home one night and the microwave goes out, and I'm like, it's not doing anything. The plug doesn't work. Check it downstairs in our basement. Oh my gosh, I don't know
Breaker.
the name of this. Breaker. Thank you. The break, check the breaker. That's not doing anything. Plug something else into it. That's not doing anything. And so literally, I look at my boyfriend and I'm like, how do people replace microwaves that are built in? And then I figured it out. Like, it turns out you go to the store and you say, hey, we need a new one. Can you take away the old one? And it's actually much easier than I thought. But I was so fried in my brain. I was like, I can't handle this. And then like the next day I was like, okay, well, we want to go when both of our schedules line up, because he's also he's a travel nurse. So like, he was on call on some days. So he was getting home super late. So I wasn't able to, it took like a whole week for us to be able to go together to pick out one. And at the same time, I was like, well, now I've got to go and do my taxes on this day. And okay, well, we're supposed to be sitting down to plan this other trip we have later this week on this day. Do we have time? Well, we're getting coffee with your friends on Tuesday. So it's just like random adult things stack up that you don't expect. And then all of a sudden your weekends just vanish. Your days off vanish when you're doing non-fun stuff. But I feel like it happens all the time.
Yeah, that's life.
Trying to think of like something like that that's happened recently. I don't know. We have like the lawn and stuff that we have to like make sure we stay on top of that, and then just other house stuff. We have a cat now, so we're trying to figure out our whole litter box situation, and getting that going. And we got one of those little robo bots, so we had to set that up, and then also make sure that it doesn't kill the cat while he's in there, to make sure he's like smart enough to get out. So like, that's just kind of day-to-day stuff. My wife took care of that mostly. I built it.
You said you weren't busy enough, so I was going to get a cat.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't know how we got conned into that one. But yeah, I mean, it's good overall. I mean, there's just like, I don't know, like you said, there's just random stuff that just pops up. Like, I don't know, we got to paint something, get something for the kids. The kids are going through clothes left and right. Like, Adam probably has the same issue there. Like, I swear we just bought them new shoes and they need more new shoes because they grew out of that last pair of shoes. Or they tore a hole through the shoes because they're kids and they're having fun riding bikes or doing whatever. So there's just always something going on. But again, it's just, I don't know. I feel like we get better at managing our time for it and having fun doing it. I know other like non-work or vet related things we use. Like, I used to be way more involved, and Adam's kind of involved in this, is I used to do land flipping and do the land business on the side. And I thought I had more time for it. I did, but I was also like, I don't know, working on that too much sometimes. And then I was just like tired all the time. So I've kind of like put that off to the side a little bit, not doing that as much. But yeah, that used to be the thing that I was always working on outside of work.
Oh yeah, like Chris, and I feel for y'all, like literally dad's wives, because like Adam mentioned one earlier, is like, kids aren't going to school tomorrow, so now I got to figure that out. That happens sometimes to my coworkers, and it's not uncommon for us to have like honestly, they've really well-behaved children, but it's not uncommon to have a kid at work. I don't mind. Nobody minds. Like, it's a good environment. And sometimes I think about like when they're adults, like they're going to think back like about the times like when I was that kid going to work with my dad. My dad's a chef, and sometimes I would have to be there at work before school, waking up at like 4 a.m. with him because he had to take me, but he had to go to work first and then run me to school. Things like that, I think, is really amazing. Super overcompensating for our previous parent comments, but I am sincere about it.
Trying to backtrack on his earlier comments.
I 100% am.
Let's try to fill in that hole.
Yeah, these guys got to watch me in real time react to finding out that my kid's school was canceled tomorrow at 9 p.m. at night. By the way, no school tomorrow. So yeah, that's the kind of things you gotta figure out and roll with the punches as a parent. Yeah, keeping kids alive is a big one. And managing, everything for them, definitely worth it. Obviously, but yeah, they can be a lot. That can be a lot. Like Chris said, I've dabbled in the land flipping stuff that he does. This podcast is another big one. I don't know if our listeners know. I think it's probably been mentioned before, but I do all the editing on the episodes. So sorry if they sound like shit. You can send all your hate mail to me directly, because that is me. I had zero training and learned on the fly, and I do what I can. But that is very time consuming as well. I'll do that in the mornings a lot of the time. And I thought I had something else and I lost it. But yeah. Taxes. JT said the word taxes and I flinched because it took me a lot of work and a lot of time to go through that. And we use a CPA. But being relief, being 1099, I have way too many tax forms, and just organizing them and getting everything together and sending all that and communicating with the CPA. That's a lot. But luckily, I think I'm done with that for this year. So yeah, I mean, just random things that pop up. And then the other big thing for us is travel. Both of our families live far away. Far away, hour. Allison's family is an hour. My family's 2 hours. But when you only have one day off a week, and they want you to come visit, understandably so, especially with the kids, their grandkids. That's a lot of traveling as well. The little things add up, just adult life. So.
Yeah. And I had like one more really quick one, like that I forgot about. It's like speaking stuff. It sneaks up on you. Like I am my own business on the side, and I put so much work into my W-2 work, and I've got like my 1099 like freelance type work is all my speaking stuff, and it's so easy to be so exhausted from work on your non-work days. Like I've got like a webinar scheduled in the future here and there on the calendar, and then they sneak up on you, and all of a sudden you're like 2 weeks out, and I'm like, oop, I need to produce a lecture immediately. And then, you just don't want to do it when you get home. But then after you do it, it's so much fun to give the lecture, but getting it together, answering emails, coordinating with people on the side, coordinating if it's going to be in person versus webinar, and like literally being a side business. I feel like I'm like Adam. I'm learning this on the fly and asking other people as I go along, but it's like, it's side work. And it's not necessarily the most glamorous part of the job. But like as a veterinarian, we do so much at work. And then all of us, it's kind of fun that we all do little different things outside of our regular job. But it's a lot.
Yeah. I think a lot of people can relate to this, whether you're a veterinarian listening to this or just somebody that has a totally different job. I know everyone's going through their day-to-day things outside of work and in their daily lives. Like for me, I'm in the process, or I've created a business to do ultrasound outside of my regular hospital, and it's been off to a slower start than expected. But I'm still, going after it, reaching out to people, trying to get patients to be seen. So, and then I mentioned we just moved into a house, so there's a lot of ins and outs there. Scheduling we just got a radon system radon mitigation system put in. We have some flooring that we got set up. Like there's a whole lot of stuff that requires our attention. And then I have 3 dogs myself. So that's what keeps me busy on like a day-to-day outside of the one-off things like I just mentioned. But kind of one of the last things that we'll talk about is, we all have lives outside of work. And it's hard to separate work and personal life. So just kind of curious how you guys deal with that, and kind of like how often or at all are you thinking about work outside of your day-to-day work life?
This is Adam. So for me personally, this has changed a lot in my career. So early on, especially first few years out, 3-4 years out, the answer was constantly. Outside of work, I was constantly thinking of work, constantly thinking, did I prescribe the right meds? Did I run the right test? Did I communicate with the owner effectively? Did that surgery
content?
Did that surgery going okay? Like every little thing, just constantly in my head outside of work, like all the time. And that was like it was bad. It was like all the time. The first several years of work, and now honestly for me, I've kind of 180'd on that. Like, there, not to say I don't like think about it occasionally, or like sometimes I'll tell them like, hey, when that blood work comes back tomorrow, go ahead and send it to me, and I'll let you know what we need to do or whatever. But and there's still some cases where it's like, I wonder how that dog's doing. But for the most part, when I'm not at work, I'm not thinking about work. And I really can't find the distinction as to why that's changed so drastically. If I had to guess, it would be just confidence in myself over time. Just, the more you do it, the more you feel comfortable with it. And I just feel like as I've gone, I've grown and I've learned a little bit more what works and what doesn't work, and what to do best in practice. And I feel confident with my communication with the owners as well. So if things are bad and I tell them things are bad, I can sleep at night knowing that I communicated that, whereas before it was, did I really convey that the right way? Or was there more I could do? Or, things like that. And I really think it's just come down to building that confidence over time. And that's why I've been able to kind of separate a little more and not have that thought of work away from work as much as I did prior.
This is Jeff. I'll say I think about work way too much outside of work. For all of the reasons Adam mentioned that I don't need to repeat, like literally word for word, all of those things happen to me all the time. And things that really help me are like keeping busy and having my little hobbies and doing things that are so non-veterinary related that I can breathe. Because even though I love this podcast, it makes me think about work, because I'm always thinking about, even when I'm in the shower, I'm like, oh, what would be a great idea? Or like after work, oh, that case was really tough. Could we turn that into a good topic? Or even when I'm doing social media posts for the pod. So I'm always thinking about work. My side business is work related. It's always like veterinary stuff. But one thing that's been helping me in addition to hobbies is I have like a personal mantra now. Like when I'm getting ready for bed, I'm like, stop working. And then if I'm like on a roll, I literally just say, stop working. It's not complicated. Try it out at home, kids. And my personal reaction is like, I'm not allowed to think work thoughts or veterinary medicine after that. So I literally think about like my favorite TV show or music or the next thing I'm looking forward to, and I just switch my train of thought. So it helps me out.
This is Chris. JT, I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, man.
That way I can stop thinking about work. I mean, I don't get like, I don't go down some rabbit holes sometimes, but like other days you'll just like get a case or like a surgery. Like for me, it's most like, hey, did that surgery go well? I hope it's recovering fine, doing well. Like that's the things that I'll like think about, and they turn out fine. But again, you still just worry about those things. So I do think about it probably more than I should. But overall, like Adam, I've gotten better just because like I don't talked it through the clients. I've learned things. I've figured out how to say things properly. So it's not anything that's too. I'm not as worried as I used to be, especially first starting. I mean, again, when we were all new grads, I bet we worried a lot more because we were like, every case that came in, we're like, did we do that right? Or did that go wrong? And now it's like one or two cases are like, yeah, that was kind of a weird one. That was kind of a crazy case. So that's kind of mine is more just, okay, I hope that thing turned out fine. I hope everything's doing well. Again, like I had a fracture repair that we did. Supposed to do a 2-week recheck on the fracture, make sure everything's doing fine. We've been ghosted for like 6 weeks. I'm like, well, I hope the leg's fine.
Yeah.
But like everything went well. I mean, it went great. Like everything came together perfectly how we wanted to. So I'm like, I'm not, again, it's also those things too. You're like, stop thinking like you know, you did it fine. You did everything how you're supposed to do it. So it's just more, you're just, again, you're thinking about nothing. So then you start thinking about things that you shouldn't be focusing on type of thing.
Yeah, I can relate to everything that everyone has said. Just going off of what you just said, Chris, like same thing. I had a case that was a little bit more complicated, and the cat went home, and I've called the owner like 4 times over the past 2 weeks, and I've heard nothing back. And I think just like what everyone's talked about, it's just like we are dedicated to these pets and these owners, and we want good outcomes. As you know, we're not just trying to make a buck and move on. So I think that shows, and this is just an example of it. And for me, you know, outside of that, yeah, I think about work more than I should. I've gotten a lot better about it since I've finished residency. I'm sure Jeff can relate to this. It's just like you're constantly inundated with work, and like the lines are very blurred. So being outside of residency, there's a more defined cutoff between your work and non-work life. But still though, like this is like 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago, I went to sleep and I had like a freaking nightmare that I had patients in the hospital that I didn't transfer to somebody or round on or whatever. And then I woke up and I was like, oh my God, like I'm not at work. This is like on a Saturday. Like, but yeah, I've been getting better and better, about separating work and my personal life. And I think exercise has helped. The fact that we have our own place now has helped. And just really just being in the moment in the things that I'm doing outside of work in my personal life, and just enjoying those when I'm in that moment. So just being more intentional about each situation that I'm in.
Thank you once again for joining us on the Dogtor Bros.
If you would like to support us, please share this episode with others who may be interested in today's topic, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Would you like to influence our next episode? We love hearing your opinions and thoughts. Your comments may be our next topic.
Please leave us suggestions via email at thedoctorbros@gmail.com, DM us at thedoctorbros on Instagram, or leave us comments on our posts. Again, this is Brandon. You can reach me at Dr. Mason IM on Instagram.
And this is Chris, and you can reach me on Instagram at dr.chrishernandez.
And this is Jeff. You can find me on TikTok or Instagram at DermDrJeff, DermDogtorJeff.
And this is Adam. You can reach me on Instagram at DrAdamDVM. That's DrAdamDVM.